Hello, I'm Johnny Smith from the Late Break Show.
I'm Richard Porter from Sniff Petrol. Together, we are Smith and Sniff. Normally, we make Britain's #1 car podcast. But right now, we're having a look around the First Glance area for the Festival of Speed. It's kind of cars that are coming up or just gone on sale. And this is where we're going to begin.
Look at this thing. What a pretty, pretty little electric coupe this is.
It's by a company called A. You've probably not heard of them. They're Japanese. They're actually a racing team. They've made this one-off electric coupe. Just under 500 horsepower.
Yeah, just under 500 horsepower, 1,400 kilos. It's rear-wheel drive, dual motor. I mean, dimensions-wise, it kind of looks like Alpine.
Yeah.
There's a bit of Alpine in it, and the chap that's designed it, he's actually just behind the car, gesticulating right now. He was the head designer of Nissan.
Yeah.
For many, many years. Designed cars that you may know, like the GTR R35. And also, I had a conversation with him once about a Nissan Cube. But yeah, this thing is really, really cool. I can't remember if it's carbon fibre or not, or if it's steel. Let me just have a quick
So no, it's very smooth looking. You have to say that freed from the shackles of Nissan, he's done a really good job, because this is very, very pretty. It is for now only a one-off, but AIM, they've made the motors themselves, so you have a sense that they probably do want to do something with this, such as put it into production.
Yeah.
Should we go brolly up and walk over there to those Hyundais?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now this over here. Now this is interesting. So we don't know if the AIM is going to become a production vehicle that one can buy, but we do know that the Hyundai Ioniq 5N, N being their performance division, derived from N for Nürburgring, where the cars a lot of the time are developed, where they got an HQ there. This thing's wild. So the Ioniq 5, as you know, is a kind of weird future retro electric family car with a 300-odd mile range. They've decided to make this the first ever electric car to have the N moniker put on it, the badge there. So it's got more power. This is 650 PS with the boost mode, all-wheel drive, 84 kilowatt-hour battery pack. They haven't said how much range, but it has weird things, like it has a drift mode and it has a clutch kick initiation feel to it. Yeah, and it has simulated 8-speed gearbox, which will jolt through gears.
Okay. The
idea being when you're trying to learn a track or a fast piece of road, it's easier when you have a gearbox car, because you know the RPM and the speed. The thing about EVs is they're very fast and linear. You can get carried away and you don't know how fast you're going until it's too late. So it's got some great things, and of course it's had the suspension all derived. They say the suspension is not shared with the original Ioniq 5 at all.
What?
Yep. All new
That's
subframes, dampers. Yep. They say it's all for sort of not full competition use, but it's used its know-how from WRC and touring car and stuff like that.
Wow. And they have they have a normal one here. I think this is about to leave. I'm a bit worried I'm going to get run over. And then a drift spec one here. There should also be RN22E, which is basically an Ioniq 6.
Yes.
But unfortunately there was an incident on the Goodwood Hill on Thursday, and it's no longer here.
It's no longer with us, should we say.
I'd like to take you round the corner now, Johnny, to show you Anne pickup truck.
Yes, please do.
Follow me. And the pickup is this, the Ineos Grenadier Quartermaster. We've seen the Ineos Grenadier. You've driven it.
I have driven it, yeah.
You like?
Yeah, I was really surprised by it. I mean, of course, in a world where everything's going monocoque chassis and stuff, this is quite old school idea.
Yeah.
Big, chunky, separate chassis, BMW straight 6 diesel or petrol. I actually thought it was really good. Yeah.
Well, now,
I was a doubter as well.
Okay, well that's fair enough. Now, as they promised when they announced the Grenadier, there is now this pickup version. They've stretched the wheelbase. You can see the doors don't quite cut out as much as they did before, because the back wheel is further back, and then the rear overhang is extended as well. So you've got this pickup bed here, which can take a standard pallet. That's handy. What it can't do is take 1,000 kilograms, which would mean it was a light commercial vehicle. It's got a 760 kilo payload. The rear tailgate can take 225 kilos though, which I don't know why that would be useful, but it seems like a good thing.
That's us too. For a picnic.
It is. Yeah, I have probably put on a bit recently. So yeah, it can tow 3.5 kilos as well, same as the Grenadier station wagon. Prices from £66,000. So if you're looking for a sort of old-fashioned separate chassis pickup truck, this may pique your interest.
Look at this.
Somewhat inconveniently, the cars are now leaving the final glance area, but we're going to go with them, and particularly with this, Alpine's latest concept, the A390 Beta. Beta as in something that's sort of in testing, it's not the finished article.
Yeah. And look where the driver's driving, in the middle.
Central, as they say in France.
So it harks back to this electric Renault 5 concept, which is going to become a real car. You look at the shape of the car, it does look like the Renault 5, which celebrated a big anniversary. Was it this year or last year? It was 50 years old, wasn't it?
Nearly.
So the Alpine version is obviously the hotter version of that. We know the 5 is coming to market.
The 5 is coming very soon. This will come, I think, soon after. They're saying that this concept, this one off that's going up the hill, about 85% there. So there's a lot more carbon fibre in it than there will be in the real thing. But you're getting a good idea of what a sporty Alpine hot hatchback will be like in the next couple of years. And I think it looks pretty good.
Well, as we know, Renault has good history with building exciting hot hatches, small hatches. And it has quite a lot of good history with EVs, with the Zoe, the Megane. So you distill those two things together, and bearing in mind, you know, they've already brought out the Alpine, Piston Alpine, which is a grand car. A lot of us like it. And it looks great.
It looks great.
It's got that enough retro to bring people in.
Before everything drives off, can we just go and find a couple of other interesting things?
Yeah, whatever.
Rally vibe to it. This is Lamborghini's take on that. A sort of we want to say like a Paris-Dakar.
Well, it's the overland scene has been growing. So you've got competition stuff like Dakar, but the whole overland scene where people take Mazda MX-5s, jack them up, you know, and make them like a bit able to go off-road. They've done it with the most surprising car.
Yeah, well,
you've got light pods, you've got roof bars, you've got blistered arches, you've got raised ride height.
It's 44 millimetres higher than a regular Huracan. It's quite a lot. I mean,
it is a lot. It is a lot. And it can, you know, I've seen videos of it actually doing, you know, dune hopping and all sorts of stuff.
I mean, I'm not sure many people will, but I just like the principle of it. It's a bit silly, and what are Lamborghinis if not a bit silly? So there's one other thing I'd like to talk about, and again, before it absolutely scarpers on us, we've seen some sort of futuristic things, EVs, obviously there's a lot of them we looked at in our walk around of Electric Avenue, but there's EVs here. There's the new Ford Explorer that we looked at in Electric Avenue. Yeah. Next to it, however, is a little final hurrah for the dinosaurs of internal combustion, the Ford Mustang Dark Horse.
Yes. It sounds like an energy drink.
It doesn't have hybridism. It thinks those things are gosh darn communism. This is from the US of A. It has a 5-litre V8. It has a manual gearbox. Not only a 5-litre V8, but they're saying it has 500 horsepower. No turbos, no superchargers, natural aspiration. That's 100 horsepower per litre, which is pretty special.
It is a lot, yeah, it is good. I mean, next to it, obviously, because the thing is Ford do like a V8, America does like a V8. But remember, the Mach-E, which is their electric effort, lives next door. And that's their new version that they've just unveiled, I think, yesterday, which is the Rally concept. So you can see, look, it's got higher ground clearance, rally style wheels, all-terrain tyres. Just going to have a quick look. It's the first time I've seen it. I saw pictures of it on the screen, but it's regularly out doing demonstration stuff.
Am I right in thinking this was its codenamed Project Mongoose?
I think so. I wish I was codenamed Project Mongoose.
Well, then you would be required to come and remove snakes from people's houses.
But of course, this kind of makes sense because Ford has a good, rich history in WRC.
Yes.
And doing all-terrain stuff with the trucks, the pickups, and that kind of thing. And it's sort of trying to marry lots of different worlds, isn't it? Mustang name, EV, all-terrain, WRC-ish. I'm down with it.
You know how we as human beings are technically related to ring-tailed lemurs. We are sort of two ends of the primate spectrum. This is what we see here in the Mustang family. Ring-tailed lemurs, primitive but rather lovable, sophisticated and complex human beings. This
is a really important car, in all honesty. It's the first time it's been seen in the UK. There's fever pitch excitement from MG, because last year they had like one car, they made a sensible EV estate, the only mainstream electric estate car, and now they've just wheeled out everything. There's about 4 different electric products. This is their halo product. You know, the first MG sports car since 2000 and with the MG TF.
Well, the MG TF died in what, 2009 or thereabouts? Don't write it in, I think it was about then. So yeah, 2-seater roadster. I can't think of any other 2-seater electric roadsters, so this is pretty unique, and it will be on sale, they say around next June, so it's coming. They won't say prices, but we're thinking probably sort of 55,000 for the single motor one, and then there'll be a dual motor 4-wheel drive one, that probably about 65,000 pounds. So not cheap, but quite interesting nonetheless. You're about to get run over by one of something I want to talk about. Now, if you have a soft spot for Group B rallying, and who doesn't, you may remember the Metro 6R4.
Yeah.
This is modern MG's tribute to that. It is in fact that car there, the new MG4 X-Power.
Look, he's going to give us a
run over us, we're going to get scooped away by the cowcatcher on the front.
Lovely.
It's just a sort of exercise in
Lovely.
having a bit of fun, a bit of cosmetic fun for Festival of Speed, sticking this big 6R4 style thing on it.
I like this because this is combined, this is future retro. This is future retro in one car. 80s style graphics, boxy arches, faired in, turbofan type wheels.
Yes.
The big Pikes Peak kind of beak
Yeah.
aero on the front there.
We're not sure if it does anything, whether this is proper aero. I think it might have just been
But
created
the MG4 in standard form, is what's underneath all of that. There's one next door there.
My absolute favourite detail, I don't know if you can see it, is that down here, on the sides of the cowcatcher, it says, spoiler alert. That's great. And I think that's a good note on which to end our walk around First Glance before we get run over by something. But thank you for joining us. Lots of fabulous cars here, all about to go off up the hill.
Yeah, we're going to stop talking so you can start looking at more cars.